Well, welcome back everybody then to the single-seater playthrough on Motorsport Manager. I guess we'll call this Vanilla. Motorsport Manager Vanilla, now that we've got all these Fire Mod Let's Plays going. But I haven't forgotten about this, just forgot to record it for a little while. But we will be back into it now, hopefully, up and running. So, we're in Season 5, of course, on to race number 2. The first race went okay. Didn't go as well as I'd hoped, but went better than expected, I think. The car seems to have made a step forward in terms of performance. It's still showing 9th in the standings in terms of car performance, but I feel we can race a little bit better than that. Munro, of course, still bedding in with a 12th place in his opening race, was not bad at all. Eckers is going to be our main hope for points early on. Munro is a cheap driver with great marketability and someone that I think will grow into the role hopefully over the season. Really needs to improve his cornering there. Just one on the corners at the moment. So, the first thing I was going to address, last time we talked about how much money we were losing. We were saying maybe we don't need to put aside so much money for next year's car. We can always find that at the end of the season. And that will mean that we just lose 23,000 per race. Much more manageable, and means I can spend this budget on parts with less hesitation, really, at least to begin with. So, pit crew was fairly good last time out, no mistakes in 6 pit stops, so I don't think we're going to have to make any changes there. Looking through them, one change we could make is we could change Paul for Marquez. We would lose 1 point on the tyres, but we gain, 8 points on the fixing. And this early in the season, we might need to make some repairs, so I feel that's worth doing. Stamina's still looking good for all the crew, so I don't feel we need to bring anybody else on board at this point. Now, need to make some new parts. So, at the moment, we seem to have the worst gearbox and suspension on the grid. Our rear wing and front wing aren't too bad in comparison. So, maybe gearbox. Now, you see, the problem with gearbox, it's not going to give us an immediate boost because it's just going to be plus reliability is the only thing we can go for. So I might go for suspension. It's a little bit cheaper to begin with, and will actually give us a good gain in performance. So we're going to get one of those built and continue on then. Right, some car repairs coming up. And what are we doing at the moment? Right, I'm going to keep it on the gearbox. And I think we'll switch it to the front wing. Actually, just one front wing and one suspension, because I don't think we're going to get another suspension built too soon. But obviously we got one new suspension piece coming, so there's no point improving the reliability of both suspensions. Actually, I guess either suspension, there's no real point. So we'll go front wing, and we'll keep the performance as is on the front and rear wings. And put that back to 1010. I really want to work out why it's doing this every time. And it just switches randomly to all on performance. I'm sure there's been occasions where I've missed that completely and it's doing no good at all. But anyway. Right, we've got that new suspension nearly ready then. And that's ready well within time for the next race. Eckers taken up snowmobile racing. Even better marketability. I'm not going to complain. Just don't get yourself injured. Please, for the love of God. If I lose you and we have to put reserve driver in, we're stuffed. You're the main hope of this team at the moment. Right, another new suspension. I think we're going to go just plus 30, plus 40, and losing all that reliability just takes too long to get on the car. At this point, we want performance early. I've decided, because that's when we're most likely to get points, I think, early in the season. So I'm going to be chasing both reliability and performance early on here. And we're going to switch reliability from one of those front wings to the new suspension and hope that we can get that done in time for the next race. We should be able to, looking at it. And gearbox is looking pretty good, almost at 70, so we're going to switch that to the rear wing as well. And see how that goes. I think the other new suspension, yeah, will be finished before, but I think there's very little chance of getting that finished in time. Yeah, that one's only up to 47% at the moment. Let's switch that front wing to the other one. Performance, we're close to maxing out. We've pretty much maxed out that front wing, so we'll go over to gearbox. And these two, that's pretty much maxed out, so we'll also switch that over to the other gearbox as well. Just little gains. Together, hopefully they'll make enough of a difference to push us a little bit further up the grid. So I think, yeah, I know, we'll get new gearboxes soon. Don't you worry. So that's 2 new suspensions done. Our brakes are okay. I think we do need a new gearbox. We'll just have to take that hit. Plus 15% reliability isn't really much of a... You don't really gain much back for spending $1 million, but it's the gains that come afterwards, I guess. I'm really worried where we're going to get money, to be honest. We're spending it really quickly at the moment. But hey ho. Right, let's switch that rear wing over to the other new suspension. That one's going to be ready to use for sure before the next race. We'll stay on the front wing gearbox for the moment and just keep it as is. And continue, and we're almost ready to go then. It does seem a little bit lackluster, this series, without having all the proper teams and everything that I've been experiencing from the Fire mod recently, but this means a lot more to me. This has been going for over a year now, this series, and we're going to get there. My God, we are going to get there. I promise you that. Might take another year, but we will get there. Right, we're going to go for 9th or above, because I feel that's realistic, hopefully. And 450,000 is a nice reward. First is just not going to happen. Let's be very honest about that. Monroe is still listed as a reserve, which is quite funny. That's a really scathing comment. Piece of rubbish. I'm a human being. I need my dignity. Yeah, well, come on, guys. We're doing our best here, okay? It was not going to be roses and chocolates, this division. We knew that. Right, we'll give, obviously, Eckers the new suspension part. And everything else stays as standard. I don't really want to push the other new suspension just yet until it's a bit higher in reliability. It's not a massive difference, but I'd rather have the reliability than the performance at this point. And we're ready to go then. So, as usual, I shall get underway with practice and be back with you for qualifying. Right, we're out in qualifying then. Practice pretty good. We got some good practice on the wet tyres. Obviously looking pretty wet in qualifying as well. The race looks wet as well. So that will be good knowledge. We got both cars out straight away on the intermediates. Now, it's going to be very heavy rain soon. What it's going to do the other side of that, we don't know. I feel if we can maybe try and get a lap in on the intermediates, it might put us at an advantage with the rest of the field. In terms of setup, both cars on 96 running pretty well. Both guys are in pretty good form. Eckers, we've got that sweet spot unlocked now, so obviously qualifying is going to be easier to get those tyres and brakes into that working range. How they're going to do, I don't know. Again, we want to be on the tail end of the top 10. Obviously, our sponsor objective is P9. Whether we're going to be able to achieve that, we do not know. We will have to wait and see. But with mixed conditions, it always gives us the best chance of having a good qualifying. We've had plenty of shock results in this playthrough due to varied conditions. So, lots of guys putting in their times on the intermediates. I feel it will be quicker on the wets though. We'll see once some of those guys put the times in. But it does look like it's going to dry out right at the end of the session, which gives us our best chance to have a good qualifying. At the moment, we're right at the back of most of those. There we go, yeah. The wet tyres are the tyres to be on at this moment in time. And now it's just about finding that right gap, because we don't know if it's going to rain at the end of the session. And I think we've learned really to err on the side of caution and send them out for that dry spot just a bit before, and not wait around to the end of the session, because rain can start up again very, very quickly and just ruin the laps. So I think we'll wait about another 30 seconds, and then we'll send our guys on their way. Okay, let's not dilly-dally. Out you go, guys. Good luck, my brave pilots. That's such an American thing. You don't call race car drivers pilots. He's a really good pilot of that race car. No, he's a driver. I apologise. So it depends. If we get a bit of rain towards the end of the session, we could be quids in here. If we don't, which it doesn't look like we're going to, most drivers probably will get one lap in on the super softs. So we'll have to see how this works out. Perfect for Monroe, even without that sweet spot. And for Ecker, we're going to have perfect. And overheated, you're supposed to have the sweet spot. It should be the other way around, guys. But we'll see. We'll see how they do. So Monroe, as expected, going quickest at the moment, but that's purely because no one else has set a dry time. There's going to be no more rain. So that's a benchmark, 1:18.6. And we seem to be running a little bit quicker than that. We'll see. Monroe crosses the line and goes provisional pole with an 18.4 then. Ecker goes even quicker with a 17.5. 8 seconds. 8 tenths of a second between the two teammates. And now we're going to start getting rolled down that order. And Ecker looking very competitive. Monroe will continue to drop down that order, I'm sure. But Ecker is holding strong in that top 5 at the moment. Still got a couple more cars to cross. No, we don't. Everybody has finished their laps now. So we're going to be P4 with Ecker. And considering everybody got in a dry time, there or thereabouts, that's a great performance from her. And just shows why she's going to have to carry this team for at least the first half of the season until Monroe gets up to speed. It's sort of a Stroll-Massa situation here. You know, Monroe could get that shock podium at some point, but it's going to take him a lot of mistakes and a lot of crashing to get to that point. But that's a great result from Ecker. And we're comfortably through, comfortably get that sponsor objective. And considering we've now turned down the amount we're investing into next year's car, that means that we're now in profit for the weekend, regardless of what happens in the race. So that's good news. Now, there's rain expected almost immediately. I don't think it's going to be worth... you see, everybody is going to start on intermediates. Now, we've tried this before. We have tried to start one car on dry tyres. I'm wondering if maybe we go engine expert instead of wet tyres. Mind you, they're standard engines in this series at the moment, so there's nothing really to be gained there, I don't think. And we will go attack and overtake from the beginning. Just wondering if it's worth starting a car on dry tyres. Just risking it with Monroe. I don't know that he's going to have the best race anyway. Or even on wets. I'm going to try starting him on dries. I'm going to go for it. We're going to go super softs. We really don't need much fuel. Whatever happens, he's going to have to pit after 3 or 4 laps. So let's put barely any fuel in him. Let's put 8 laps of fuel. And he can just absolutely go from it. for it and see if he can make his way through the grid with everybody else starting on intermediates. And then, of course, Eckers, we will start on intermediates. She's much higher up the grid, and we may as well go with what everyone else is going with. In terms of lifespan, 14-16, but they're going to burn up early. So I'm going to go with 14 laps of fuel. And then hopefully that'll be long enough to adapt to whatever's happening in the race. Yep, yeah, I'm sure. It's not raining. It's not raining yet. Let's bear that in mind. It's a risk from Monroe, but I feel it's a risk we can take with him. He's not going to do anything great out there, but he could do with this strategy. So we're underway then. Eckers has made a very good start up to P3, and there comes that rain immediately then. I don't think that's going to work really for Monroe. That's some foresight from the whole grid, starting on a completely dry track, to think that they're going to be able to... Eckers going for the lead here, down into the hairpin, and takes P1 nicely. We're going to turn the engine back down a little bit. Monroe already up to P3 then. And how far can he get down the road before it's into weather? It's going to be a couple of laps yet, I would imagine, before that crossover. So Monroe goes past Eckers, and we are now P1 and P2 in this race. Unbelievably. And we're just going to absolutely go for it with Monroe. He's going to go flat out. Eckers, we should probably turn the engine down and go back to neutral. Now those tyres are warming up. Now you see Monroe isn't running away. This is the problem. He needs to be taking a couple of seconds a lap for this to work. And it's just not. It's really not. He is gapping Eckers still. I don't think by enough. Do we try one more lap? Let's try one more lap and just see if Monroe can increase that gap a little bit. So it's still increasing. But he does not have the gap over the rest of the field yet to make this worth it. But for as long as he is quicker, we can keep him out there. Right, Eckers coming back at him now. So we are going to have to pit him, unfortunately. I don't think there's any point in going on to wets, because I don't think that rain is going to come. And we'll fill him up to go deep into the race. You never know, those extra couple of laps might buy him enough time to stay out if there's a strategy change. So we don't know. Right, we're not managing the tyres, which we said we would do. You idiot, Jay. Come on. Eckers is effectively leading this race with some great pace out there. And Monroe pits them as Eckers carries on her merry way. Now these tyres are not warming up. Pit stop. Looking okay. Looks a little long to me. No mistakes. 18 seconds. It's a long old pit stop. I guess it was a fair bit of fuel. So we'll go to neutral and medium with Monroe. Right, those tyres are warmed up, so we'll go to neutral and just keep an eye on them. If they start dropping again from Eckers, then we'll go to push. But she's had this knack since she came to the team that in the wet, she is unstoppable. She's leading this race by 2.5 seconds almost. And this is a cracking run from her. Whether this is going to continue, I don't know. Right, those tyres aren't warming up, so we can probably push. Now, it looks like the rain is going to die away in a few laps' time. So whether we can last that long, we'll have to see. But we are continuing to increase this lead. Whether this is going to continue in the dry weather, we will have to see. But at the moment, Eckers is the class of the field. And we have not been in this position, I think, in this entire playthrough. Where our driver is just absolutely destroying the field. Look, let's not jump to conclusions. There's a long, long, long way to go. And talking of that, let's go up to 2-speed. So we can probably push on both drivers because the tyres are not getting the heat into them. And even after a couple of laps on flat out or on push, Eckers has still not warmed them up to a satisfactory level. Right, we're going to go up to full speed a little bit. As always, I'm a little conscious of this episode being a bit too long. And that rain is still coming. I'm going to wonder here if we can last long enough to the pit stops. I think we're going to have to make another stop here. And if we do that, we're going to have to make it early to try and get back through the field. And this is a shame. This is a real shame. But it does mean that Monroe is probably back in the game if everybody else has to pit as well. If we're going to go early. Yeah, let's go early. I don't see why not. Let's put some more fuel in and go for it. That's probably a bit too much fuel actually, but we'll deal with it. Hopefully everyone stops again, because Eckers is in the class of 1 today and we want her to win this race if she can. This is going to drop her back to the rear of the field. How is the engine looking? Okay, we can probably use a little bit of fuel to try and get back into this then. So, Monroe lost about 10 seconds somewhere in that. Is that because Eckers is 10 seconds quicker? Because of course they were right next to each other when they pitted. So, Eckers definitely has the pace on the field today, but she's now right back at the rear of it. Right, they're starting to overheat a little bit, so we can go back to neutral. Try and bring them down. There is more rain coming though. There is more rain. So I think everybody is going to have to pit again. We just need to look after these tyres better in this second stint. Some people starting to make their stops now. So I think we'll use some fuel with both drivers. Engine and gearbox looking okay. Gearbox a little worn on Monroe's car, but we can deal with that. Monroe has come out ahead of everybody else, to be fair. Let's not forget Eckers was just destroying the field, and she is still destroying the field. Monroe, yeah, only 2 cars between Eckers and Monroe, so Monroe's running well here. And there is more rain coming, so it's going to be another set of intermediates then for Monroe in a couple of laps' time. Tyre temp looking good. Right, Eckers is under pressure now. Monroe showing signs of worn tyres. So we're going to bring Monroe in this time around for another set of intermediates. The inters are only really lasting 9 and 10 laps, which is surprising. So you don't really need to put much fuel in. And we will go back out again. It's definitely going to rain hard again, so we've got to go intermediates. So Eckers holding a slender lead at the moment. Just over 2 seconds to the car behind. Cars behind are going to be on better tyres here. Let's not forget. So we need to try and look after these tyres. Monroe in the pits. Engine and gearbox looking okay. So I think we'll stay on high fuel mode for now. With Eckers, just to see if she can increase that gap again. It's already back up to 3 seconds, to be fair. I'm a little worried about her doing one more stop than everybody else. But we'll have to see how it shakes out later in the race. 20 laps still to go. And she got 9 laps out of the intermediates the first time. And to be honest, it's looking around 10 laps again. She's going to have to find a couple more laps somewhere if she's going to do one more stop. And this isn't helping. We're now on pretty much dry conditions. The rain is coming back, but it's just going to destroy our tyres doing this. But once again, she's increasing that gap. Right, we're going to go back to neutral. They're overheating a little bit again. And she's through another set of tyres in less than 9 laps. Right, she's going to have to do an extra couple of laps here. It's the only way we have any chance of we're just not going to get to the end on another set of tyres. She's going to have to pit. And we're so low on sets of intermediates as well. We need that rain to stop right at the end, really. We're going to have to put on the new set. We've got no option. Couple of extra laps of fuel. And pit. And we're going to have to hope for dry weather at the end. It's the only thing that's going to save us here. Right, in comes race leader Eckers, although she's completely out of sync with everybody, to be fair now. And we're instead of doing the rain dance, we're going to be doing the sun dance, I'm afraid, in a minute. Right, she's back out in 15th, so we'll see if she can make some progress here. And gearbox not looking good on Monroe's car, so let's go back to medium. Same with Eckers. I think we've pushed it a little too hard, unfortunately. So we're not really going to be able to use that high fuel mode for the rest of the race. And we just need to look after these tyres if we can. If that rain stops, which I don't think it's going to, then we're okay. If not, 15th is where we are. And this is where she's got fresher tyres. And she's just not able to make her way through the field quick enough. She's gaining, to be fair. So we'll see how she gets on, but let's bear in mind everybody's going to be pitting fairly soon. We're not watching tyres again. Monroe's overheating again. Monroe's going to struggle to get to the end of the race on one more set of inters. So we've done one too many stops with both cars again. Don't know if that's completely our fault this time. I've tried to watch the tyres a bit better as everybody's coming in now. Now the question is, are they going to be able to get to the end on one more set of tyres? You would think so, because they've all got, generally tend to, some of them have even got 13 laps out of a set of inters. Right, we need to pit Monroe now for his final set of inters. And we're going to have to fuel him up until the end and hope that he makes it. So we'll go neutral. We're going to have to push a little bit. Once again, tyres getting cold on Eckers' car. Not looking after them as well as we should. So Eckers is easily ahead of the rest of the two-stoppers, but where she's going to be if she has to make another stop, I don't know. Gearbox is too worn for us really to push hard with her. At the moment, she's got an 11-second gap over her nearest competitor. But Batista was the closest car, so we need to wait till Batista pits, really. Lundqvist in the pits. Her front wing is apparently scraping off the floor. It looks okay to me, so we'll see. Now the field's stringing out quite a lot more in that stint. The undercut works a lot better that time. So if we do stop again, we're not going to fall back as far back as we'd thought. And she's 2 seconds ahead of Batista then. So I think she's in a net 5th place at the moment. Or even 4th place. But we need to keep an eye on those gaps. She's definitely going to have to stop again, no doubt about that. Or does she? Do we try and take... No, we can't take them that far, I don't think. Alright, she can do one more lap now. And come in this time around. It's going to have to be a used set of intermediates. They're not that used. So, they should be okay. There'll be 7 laps to the finish. We will have fresh tyres. No real point in repairing that front wing with only 7 laps to go. And we'll see. She should come back out in the points. Should. Whether she can then go forward from there, we'll have to see. I think the front 3 are going to be out of range. There's a potential 4th place here. Alright, tyres on Monroe cooling off too much, so we're going to push a little bit on his kart. In comes Ecker then. I don't want to go to Monroe, mate. Sure, his front wing's not great. I'm not going to pit him. Yep, okay, buddy. Do you want to just throw away your 14th place? She is going to... Oh, nearly in 4th place. Great pit stop from the team. She has excess fuel, but I don't want to wear that engine. She should be able to get back past Cruz just on raw pace. I'm hoping. She's been the quickest car all weekend. So if she can't, something's wrong. Monroe should easily get to the end on those tyres. Got plenty of fuel. Probably go back to neutral now. Front wing is just going to be luck of the draw, really. Right. We're going to use high and push for a couple of laps with Ecker, just to try and get her past. She's actually dropping away from Cruz. Cruz is using high engine mode, but is on neutral on the tyres. So this is going to strain our gearbox. That 4th place, I would love it. I'd be happy with 4th place this afternoon. There's a retirement. Shah retires from 3rd. So we're in 4th, and we are now racing for a podium position. Gearbox and front wing are in trouble. So we're going to have to go... Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to go back to neutral and medium here. And just hope that the raw pace is enough to get her past. She's half at 2nd behind now. But I don't think, now we've had to turn everything down, I don't think she's going to be able to make it. Monroe has worn tyres, but he's only got 2 laps to do, so he should be okay. Ecker is driving superbly. She just cannot find a way past Cruz here. Right, they're going on to the final lap. I think we risk it for a biscuit. Come on. Come on, Claudia. 1 lap. Give it everything. Podium finish would mean everything to this team right now. We're going to go down to normal speed. Oh, she had a little look there. This is where she's quickest, through the middle sector. These cars so wide though. So tricky to follow, and now Cruz is just going to run away. One final chance into the final hairpin. She's too far back. And it means she's going to cross the line to take a wonderful 4th place. Monroe, unfortunately, down in 13th place. Behind a long train of cars there. We kind of forgot about him towards the end of that race. We tried something strange on the strategy. And to be honest, the fact that he's recovered to 13th place is another great effort from him. And he's just going to improve as the season goes on. I'm not too bothered about where he finishes early on. As long as we got Ecker up there getting what we need to. And those points are going to be invaluable towards the end of the season. Let's not forget, last year it was settled on countback. Because there were no points scored. Actually, no. I think that was the GT series I was thinking about. Because last year we got a 1-2 in the first race, didn't we? But anyway, it's going to be important. Early points. Great finish from Ecker, P4 then. She was... The annoying thing was, she was easily the quickest car around there today. And I'll find a way to look at fastest lap bonus. You do actually get 2 points for fastest lap, and it did not go to Eckers today. But I think if we had been able to look after our tyres better, that race was there to win today. It's only because we had to make an extra stop than everybody around us that meant we dropped to 4th. I think making one extra stop with the car we've got and still finishing 4th shows just how incredible that race was for Ecker. A true superstar. And hopefully we can give her a winning car at some point in the future. So that lifts us up 7th in the table. I think we were actually already 7th, but we're 7th on points now. And there's 2 cars behind that have not scored. So, all in all, a very good race. And we've just got to keep moving this car forward. Keep the money in the bank, keep the parts coming, and we will get there eventually. Hopefully, this series will be back nice and regularly now. I'm going to try and have the Haas series every sort of 4 or 5 days, and this will be once a week. It will move about a bit between the different episodes, I'm sure, but we'll keep this back as a weekly series now and start kicking on deep into this season 2 in the Asia Pacific Cup. So I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. As always, keep your help and advice coming as to how we can move the car forward. Did you spot anything in the race that I'd done wrong on the tyres? Because that was some heavy wear right there. And that's what cost us the race, really. Victory was there. Our car has moved forward to the 8th quickest car, so we need to continue that progression. And we're a little bit more secure in our job now. As always, if you're new to the channel, you could hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world. We're shooting on past 300 now, which is great. Leave a like if you're still enjoying this series. And of course, you can check out the other Motorsport Manager content on the channel. And until next time, thank you for watching, everybody. And I'll see you again next time.